Hi there. Will recession occur in 2023? According to a comprehensive new study by the World Bank, it is now concluded that there will be a 70% chance of a global recession occurring in 2023 as central banks across the world simultaneously hike interest rates in response to surging inflation. A deep concern is that this trend may have long-lasting consequences that are devastating for people, especially in the emerging market and developing economies, and that includes Malaysia. Historically, one of the most reliable recession indicators is an inverted yield curve, though hardly an infallible one. Let me draw your attention to December 2022, when the yield for a 10-year US government bond was 3.48%, while the yield for a 2-year bond was 4.11%. This represents an inverted yield curve whereby bonds of longer maturities provide lower yield, reflecting investors' expectation for a decline in long-term interest rates. Whether are we going to face recession or not in this year 2023, in my opinion, it never hurts to get ourselves prepared and be ready for what come may. If you're on the same page with me, do watch this video till the end where I would share step by step what I plan to do to not only survive but also thrive in it should recession occur this year. But before we delve further into this topic, first allow me to briefly explain what a recession is. To put it in simple terms, a recession is when an economy's performance decreases for an extended period of several months marked by GDP contraction, higher unemployment rates, and lower consumer spending. They are usually relatively brief though. Since World War II ended, the average recession has only lasted for about 10 months. Recession symptoms include faltering confidence on the part of consumers and businesses, increasing unemployment, falling real incomes, and declining sales and production, and deep discount in most asset classes. In fact, during recession, most people in general are more fearful and have higher risk aversion. So, if recession were to occur in 2023, what shall we do? Here is what I plan to do should a recession occur this year. First, increase my savings. If we want to deal with the challenges and opportunities coming with the recession, we got to make sure we increase our savings by cutting down on unnecessary expenses. For example, less dining out, avoid buying branded items, adopt delayed gratification, increase our income, and diligently save minimum 10% or more of our income every month. This step is very important as I would want to make sure I have ample cash ready to take up on any great opportunities which present itself during a recession. This then takes us to my next plan, which is secondly, look for opportunities in the stock market. During a recession, stock prices usually come crashing down, including the good one. This will give us a chance to invest in highly discounted great stock. But I don't plan to be a hodler, which is holding for long term. In such market, the best strategy I opine would be to trade as a swing trader instead of a hodler. I plan to be in and out of the stock in a matter of days or maximum maybe weeks. This is because during such a bearish market, when fear is at its heights, any small negative news tend to be blown out of proportion and causing the stock prices to tumble even more. But what if you find yourself to be averse to swing trade and still prefer to hold for long term? In this case, you can always choose to invest into recession-resistant stocks such as consumer staples, grocery stores, discount stores, firearm and ammunition makers, alcohol manufacturers, cosmetics, and funeral services. Many of these companies tend to see an increase in demand when consumers cut back on more expensive goods or brands or seek relief and security from fear and uncertainty. Thirdly, look for opportunities to buy distressed assets. The real estate market doesn't fall as fast as the stock market when there is a recession. But if you choose to invest into real estate, they tend to have higher foreclosure or auction units properties available. We can get amazing below market value deals there. I plan to buy into hugely discounted residential properties which can be easily rented out. The reason why I plan to buy and rent out instead of flipping is because most of the time during a recession, home prices tend to go down but rent remain the same. So flipping strategy would not work. Hence, my plan is to buy and rent it out to buy time until economic winter is over. When spring comes, I would then sell it off at higher prices. Fourth, take advantage of low interest rate environment. In case you don't know yet, during a recession, government would always try to stir up the slow economy by implementing stimulus policy, and one of them is by lowering borrowing interest rate. So in such low interest rate environment, it is in our favor to invest into below market value properties by taking up mortgage loan from banks instead of paying full cash. This way, not only we get to use the bank's money to accumulate good assets, we also get to 5x or even 10x the return on our investment depending on the capital we have. To expound on this, imagine if today we have cash or savings of Ringgit Malaysia 100,000. If we plan to buy one low-cost flat fully cash, we could only get to buy up to one unit. But if we were to take up a mortgage loan, we only need to pay 10%, that is RM10,000 as down payment each to acquire 2 units of low-cost flat and balance 30k down payment each for another 3 units of low-cost flat with similar pricing. Through this illustration, you get to see how we could easily 5x our money just by leveraging on the bank's money. Fifth, consider refinancing our debts. Do take advantage of such low interest rate environment by refinancing our existing mortgage loan if we have any. Not only do we get to enjoy cheaper borrowing costs, we may also get to take up any equity we may have on our existing property and in turn reinvest the extra money into acquiring good assets which are selling at deep discount. 6. Start a side hustle. There are 3 side hustles which I think are recession proof which we may consider, and in no particular order. The first one, tutoring. Even during a recession, tutoring demand will always be there. This is a service that parents usually wouldn't scheme on, including myself. If it means that their child can get better grades or get ahead in school or even increase their scores to get into certain college. Second, vending machine. Do you know that the vending machine business is a recession-proof one? Not just because these machines are often located in highly trafficked areas like in airports, recreation centers, malls, and etc., but because of the price points of each item. It is not a huge cost for a consumer to stop and spend $1 or 2 on snacks or drinks. We can buy a vending machine for a few $1,000s depending on the type of machine. Once we decide on the kind of vending machine we like to have, like personal products, food, or electronics, we could go out and secure a location by asking busy facilities operator to either rent us the space or do a profit sharing. Then we buy the vending machine. It is a low capital startup business that can turn into good profit. And third, start option trading. Options can offer lower cost ways for trader to go long or short the market with limited down risk if you know how. It also gives traders and investors more flexible and complex strategies such as spread and combinations that can be potentially profitable under any market scenario. Though option trading may seem lucrative, it is also complicated if you are not familiar with it. So before we endeavor to start on option trading as a side hustle, always make sure we get ourselves educated on it first. There are currently so many free resources for us to learn on option trading, and one of them is definitely via YouTube. In conclusion, whether we like it or not, recessions are an inevitable part of being a participant in the financial world. They can be unpredictable and may also have a significant negative impact on many people, especially more so on those who are unprepared. So instead of whining and playing victim, why don't we choose to thrive in it? By staying informed and fully prepared, we would realize that there are ways to position ourselves to help us to not only weather the storm of a recession, but potentially to take advantage of it as well. Do remember, just as after winter is always followed by spring, every economic recession will be followed by a recovery and an economic boom thereafter. If you have watched till this far, congratulations! Now that you know what to do to thrive in recession, this is only half a battle won. The next half is by taking actions. I do sincerely hope you would take actions by following the steps outlined above so that every one of us could get to create our next bucket of gold in this year of 2023. Bye!